About a week ago, I reviewed the A Ma Maniére Air Jordan 5 Dusk, one of my favorite colorways of 2023. I love black sneakers, so I naturally really like that shoe. And since then, so much has happened. I'm not gonna get into details, but you can search A Ma Maniére or Whitaker Group. You'll see a lot of articles about some allegations, some very bad allegations. I'm not gonna talk about that in this video, just gonna review this shoe, not here to speculate. And boy, I said it when images first leaked, like way back when, I think it was like February, March or something. Said it back then. I was really looking forward to this shoe. And in hand. Oh, so gorgeous. Just gorgeous. A Ma Maniére Air Jordan 5 Dawn. Now this shoe is dropping on November 27th for $225 on sneakers. It did actually already release on A Ma Maniére's website on November 17th, but if you missed out on that on the 27th, you have a second chance. And the Jordan 5 originally released in 1990 for $125. That is around $310 in 2023 money. Insanely expensive. Now this collaboration was part of the Still We Rise campaign, which features 2 Jordan 5s. And this one is the Dawn colorway. And that campaign was inspired by the writings of James Baldwin as well as Maya Angelou. And true to A Ma Maniére fashion, they came out with a video as part of this release. Check it out on their website if you haven't. And this shoe is a woman's exclusive. Not really sure why, but it is. And originally the Jordan 5 was inspired by a fighter jet designed by legendary designer Tinker Hatfield. And that fighter jet resembled a shark. So that's where you see my favorite part of the Jordan 5, the shark teeth. Look at it. Just makes it look so sleek, so aggressive. A lot of times the shark teeth will have like splatter patterns over it or like another color that outlines the shark teeth. This time just a flat color, and I like how that looks. I will say between this colorway and the Dusk colorway, I am a black sneaker defender, but this is clean. I do usually think that burgundy that A Ma Maniére always uses on their collaborations, that's like a cheat code. That color always makes a shoe look really nice. And this is one of the few A Ma Maniére collaborations that doesn't use that burgundy, but without it, it still looks beautiful. And the materials on the shoe, just like the Dusk colorway, it is nubuck, and it feels pretty nice. And despite it maybe looking white on some images, the upper sole color is photon dust, so it's like very light gray, and I think it works really well with the hints of blue. And one thing they changed to the eyelets, they changed that to leather. So usually on Jordan 5s, it'll be plastic eyelets. So they changed that to leather. I like how that looks, gives it a more upscale feeling. And of course you get that 3M tongue. And fun fact, the Jordan 5 was the first Jordan shoe to use 3M materials. 2 OG colorways use the 3M tongue. And speaking of the tongue, they do have mismatched branding on the tongue. One has the A Ma Maniére logo. The other one has the Jumpman, just like a general Jordan 5. And inside the tongue, you also see mismatched branding. One has the A Ma Maniére stitching. The other one has Michael Jordan's signature. And one thing I will say about his signature, even his signature looks really nice. It just looks aesthetic. He's just truly the GOAT. And this shoe does come with pre-aged netting, so it's pretty much yellow. Over time, the netting on Jordan 5s does kind of yellow anyway. I do prefer if it came white out of the box. Don't love the whole pre-aged aesthetic, but one really cool thing about this netting is they changed it to the A Ma Maniére logo. On the Dusk colorway, you can see it more clearly because behind the netting it's black, so it creates more of a contrast. This shoe, you can't see it as clearly in images. You gotta really see it up close, but it is the A Ma Maniére logo. And another place where they put the A Ma Maniére logo is the ankle collar and inside the shoe. So if you see the way it's stitched, it's got that A Ma Maniére A all over. Really, really cool detail. Now, one thing about the ankle collar is they didn't make this a kilted ankle collar. So a lot of A Ma Maniére shoes, they'll make that kilted inside. So it goes for that more premium upscale aesthetic. Feels very smooth. The shoe, they don't do that. Just kind of normal stitching in here. And I will say one practical difference is because of this material, because of the stitching, I found it a little bit harder to put my feet in. So definitely keep that in mind. Loosen up the laces, breaking it a bit. And one thing about the ankle collar as well as the tongue is they slimmed it down. So it's not as puffy, not as bulky. I know a lot of people do prefer a less bulky look for the Jordan 5s. I myself, I'm a sucker for this silhouette. Bulky, slim, I don't really care. I like it both. And on this colorway, they pretty much treated it like an OG. So you'll see the 23 that's stitched on the side of the shoe. Not all Jordan 5s come with that. Actually, only one OG colorway, the Fire Red, came with a stitched 23. Nowadays, they'll stick to 23 on some Jordan 5s, others they won't. Don't know how they choose. And I do like when they do that for the Jordan 5s. Kind of makes it feel a bit more special. And another way they treated this like an OG colorway is, of course, the Nike Air booty on the back. And the Nike Air is nicely embroidered. And also on the lace lock, Probably my least favorite thing about the Jordan 5 is the lace lock. But the lace lock on this, it says Nike instead of Jumpman that you see on kind of modern day general releases. And basically, because A Ma Maniére gets what they want, at least right now they do anyway. Don't know how it is going forward, but for this colorway, for both shoes, Dusk and Dawn, they put all the OG details on this shoe. And speaking of the lace lock, well, not really the lace lock itself, it actually has this lace loop that you don't really see on Jordan 5's general releases. The Jordan 5 does not have this loop. This is more like a Jordan 1 feature. Doesn't really make much of a difference to me, but there you go. And another really cool detail is the insole of this shoe. Also Nike Air. It's not a Jumpman, so they treat it like an OG again. The Nike Air is actually embroidered onto the insole, so not this cheap printed Jumpman on the insole. Maybe justifying the $225 price point? Not really, but it's better than a printed Nike Air. Now the Jordan 5 does come with a polyurethane midsole with a Nike Air unit on the forefoot, as well as the heel, obviously that's visible. And of course a translucent outsole. The Jordan 5 was the first Jordan shoe to use a translucent outsole. However, just like the netting, this one is aged, it's yellow. That's one thing that I don't love. Like the Dust colorway, that's my complaint. If it was white, or at least even that gray color that you see on the upper sole, I think that would have looked better, but they had to go make it look like someone stepped in pee. And speaking of the outsole, it's also mismatched branding. This one has a regular Jumpman, the other one has an A Ma Maniére's logo. And on the midfoot area, it says Nike, again, treating it like an OG colorway, has Nike instead of Jordan that you see on modern day Jordan 5s. Now this shoe does come with 2 extra set of laces, one of this yellow, creamy kind of color, the other one is white. I do think that creamy yellow looks very nice on this shoe. If not, I'd probably offer the white set of laces. I think the laces that come out of the box are probably actually the weakest one. This Photon Dust color, I know it matches the upper sole, but I feel like one of those 2 other colors makes this shoe pop a little bit more. And I don't really ever go outside the laces that come out of the box, but for this shoe, just like the Dust colorway, I'm going with the extra laces. In the box of the shoe, this very pretty blue box with A Ma Maniére branding all over. It is kind of nice to see a different color from A Ma Maniére than the usual burgundy. Inside the box, no surprises, A Ma Maniére paper. And like a lot of their collaborations, inside the lid of the box comes with a pixelated image. Very nice. Now in terms of sizing, I stick true to size. I'm a big fat wide footer, but true to size for Jordan 5s fit me pretty perfectly. I do think the Jordan 5 is my favorite in terms of comfort from Jordan 1 to 14. Fits really well, wraps around my feet like a sock. It is a pretty bulky shoe, so there's a little bit of weight to it, but nothing that like makes my feet feel like it's a burden. Now one thing I will say, after wearing the Jordan 5 Dusk for a little bit, the toe box area over here, for wide footers, it feels slightly a little bit more tight than like general release Jordan 5s. And I don't think it's just because it's a women's exclusive. Usually for women's exclusives, I go still true to size, makes no difference to me really. And I felt it on the Dust colorway as well. That was not a women's exclusive. But yeah, this big toe area does feel a tiny bit tight out of the box. But I think that's gonna break in. I think it's gonna start feeling soft. I think true to size is still the way to go. In terms of cushioning, 2 Nike Air units, polyurethane midsole. I'm pretty fine with that. It's not the most advanced technology, but I do like shoes that kind of feel closer to the ground. Not as close as like the Nike Dunks or Jordan 1s, or the Air Force Ones, but for Jordan 5s, I do think it's perfect in terms of comfort. Now the ankle collar, despite it being slimmed down, I do still think it provides very good cushioning, it feels well padded, even the tongue, slimmed down as well, doesn't really dig into your ankles like some 3M tongues on the Jordan 5s do. Some of them are like stiff as a rock. But this one, when you wear it, no problems at all. And that brings the total sole score of the A Ma Maniére Air Jordan 5 Dawn to 47 out of 50, a very high score compared to other collaborations. Now first metric, it is colorway. Despite me not loving that pre-aged yellow outsole as well as the netting, I think the rest of the colors just work so well together. This light Photon Dust color with the diffused blue, even with the yellow pea stains all over the shoe, I still think it's a very, very nice colorway. In terms of materials, I think the nubuck is nice. I do like the embroidery on the insole of the shoe. I like how the A Ma Maniére logo is stitched inside, just really paying attention to the details. So in terms of materials, I wouldn't say it's absolutely the best, but I think it's pretty good. Now in terms of comfort, might be a little slight bias to it because I am a wide footer. I think the Jordan 5 just fits my feet really well. Fits like a glove, fits like a sock. The cushioning, the padding inside, just everything about it is perfect. One tiny nitpick specific to this shoe, if I had to choose something, would be this area. I mentioned this before, but this area might feel a little tight out of the box, but once you break it in, didn't give me any more problems. Now in terms of versatility, I think the Jordan 5s are still a very versatile silhouette. Now, some people might think it's a little too athletic looking, a little too much like a basketball shoe. But personally for me, I think this is probably the last Jordan shoe that is super versatile, that crosses easily over into the mainstream or like casual use. Jordan 6s and onwards, I do start to feel they look too much like basketball shoes, and in terms of the colorway, yeah, this Photon Dust might as well be as versatile as a white sneaker. The hints of blue, it's not too loud, super easy to pair with a lot of clothing. In terms of storytelling, that's obviously Arma Maner's strong suit. From the video that they launched with this campaign, with the details on this shoe, the box, the paper inside the box, the details inside the ankle collar and tongue, the tongue itself, everything about it. Storytelling when it comes to Arma Maner, they don't really miss. The future is still pretty unclear regarding Arma Maner and Jordan Brand, and if this is their last collaboration, again, I'm not speculating on what happened, nothing's official yet, I have no clue what happened, but if it is their last collaboration, just looking at the shoe, just looking at this colorway, in a vacuum, they definitely went out with a bang. So that's it, thanks for watching, Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 5 Arma Maner Dawn. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes